Masha.
Welcome to our hero's journey.
Shiro's journey, I would
Shiro,
say.
yeah.
Hello.
Masha,
Yeah.
amazing person.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. A CEO of Grow the World.
Which is of organic
agriculture. Could you say a bit more about yourself?
Yes. Hello, everybody. Very happy to see you, and thank you for inviting me for this event. It's very, very exciting. Yeah, I'm excited. Okay, I was born in Kiev and grew up in Moscow. I'm Israeli now, yes. Then I lived in 8 countries, no more.
Wow.
12, 14 countries. That's the life took me around. And today we are growing organic food in Ukraine and distributing it in all over the world, basically. Yeah. The reason for me to start this activity was very simple. I come from a cultural family. My father is a very famous writer in Russian. My mom, she died unfortunately, but she was a professor of psychology. And it was communist time, so we didn't know anything about business and capitalism. Suddenly, we end up in Israel, where all what we thought is important is not, and important is only money. And it's huge shock when you come with 2 little kids. By the way, the older one was doing a lot of cold exposure, but we will get back to this. So basically, to make a long story short, my life, I was taken through the life journey as a business person. Even I'm an actress by education.
Wow. That's getting more and more interesting by the moment.
Yes. And at the age of approximately 35, 34, I got very sick. Very, very, really sick. Everything what could get wrong went wrong. Before that, of course, big, huge business of commodity trading, international, it's crazy stress. Plus, I always had this very uncomfortable feeling being more an arts person, that those businesses are wrong. Yes. And when you see those huge businesses and you get involved personally, something doesn't work with your heart, with your consciousness. So at the age of 35, I got very sick. Thyroid problems, heart problems, joints, arthritis, panic attacks on top, depression, everything possible, not possible, yes. So I start to look what to do. First, because I was very well connected. My brother is a doctor, to all the doctors in the United States, in Israel, yes. First, I start my doctor's journey, but they couldn't, first of all, they couldn't diagnose properly, yes. And second, they couldn't help. And I went through some unnecessary operations and very long story. The bottom line is within 2 or 3 years, my weight changed 40 kilos plus, 45 minus. Yes, it was like 100 kilo and it was 52 kilos, and it was less than 2 years changes in the body. Yes,
like your body was really shouting at you, trying to tell you something.
Yeah. yes. So, and one day I stopped going to doctors, and I took a decision to go back to the knowledge which my mom, God bless her soul, gave me since I was a child. When I was a child, I was very allergic. And my mom started to cure me with a diet which was vegetarian and fasting, cold waters exposure, snow exposure, and the yogic techniques of breathing.
Pranayama.
Yes, and stretching. So I went back to all possible ways, yes, and then I realized, wow, it's so many, and you don't know where to trust, when to know who is real. You feel a lot of people are fake, a lot of people just making money. You don't feel comfortable, and there is nothing fundamental. So I took a decision like this. First, I will go back to cold exposure because it's proven by Professor Ivanov in Russia. Maybe you heard about him, maybe not. Yes, he died already a few years ago. Or Professor Knape from Germany. Water and cold water, hot water practice. I go back to being vegetarian. I love animals, and all my life I'm with animals. Yes, so it was very making me feel excellent to go back to vegetarianism. And then I decided I will find an authentic yoga teacher initiated in India, because whatever I tried Western yoga, it's a little bit not what I was.
It wasn't
About
really hard.
Yes, it's very new wave, new trend that we know about yoga. It's more like I should say the Western yoga comprehension is more like physical, very healthy exercises, but it's not even 2% of yoga. So I decided I go back to ancient.
It's like what I'm picking up here. It's as if your body was calling you. It's like go back to the old days.
Go back to
the authentic.
to roots.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Ayurveda, because all alternative medicines somehow, some word were corresponding to me to Ayurvedic principles. And I went to Toronto, very sick. My weight was 53 kilo. My family couldn't believe I'm flying to Toronto. I went to Kaish University of Ayurveda in Toronto to study real Canadian way Ayurveda. To make the long story short, I cured myself. I didn't die. Even many people were pretty sure that that's the end of me, because the weight was gradually, like I was melting, yes, and nobody knew why. I start to give free consultancy to people in Ayurveda, cold exposure, pranayama techniques, and how I end up growing organic food in Ukraine. Okay, so I was in Canada studying next course of Ayurveda, and I saw on TV what's happening in Maidan in Kiev, in Ukraine. I realized immediately, I was crying and happy that Ukrainian people had courage to come out against the system. But on another hand, as being a businesswoman, I realized how terrible economically Ukraine will be and for how long. And I just flew immediately to my motherland. I felt like I want to be part of it. And from another hand, I had already a bunch of experience on my body and other bodies of the damage and possibility to cure in clean foods, consumption and production. So organically, I came to this solution that I would develop organic agriculture in Ukraine. And so that's very brief, yes, very brief story.
If you could as well tell us more about the cold exposures and breathing, because that's what we are as well interested in, and this part of your journey, because breathing is very close to our hearts. We are breath workers as well. So we would love to hear about the cold exposures that is already rooted in your culture.
I just love how it's a story, a calling back to your roots, back to your true nature.
Actually, because I'm Polish, I absolutely know what you are talking about, the communist times, and what my mom and my grandma was telling me how to cure myself naturally. And I remember my granny was as well telling me, take cold showers, it will good for your health. It's like there is even a saying in Polish about the cold showers and the cold water.
Sure. I think that this part of my reply I would like to go to Wim Hof. straight away.
Okay,
Right.
great.
I was always very infatuated with this man, with his energy, yes, and I didn't go so deep into his method, even it was very clear and obvious for me what he's doing. I was very wow, surprised how easy he packed it, yes,
Yes.
for today's people. Why I went so deep to Wim Hof now, I'll tell you why. Because if we talk yoga, pranayama, the problem of Western bodies, due to our cultural way, experience and way we live, we cannot sit so long in a proper posture. And it may take many years, and not even to everybody, to be able to sit properly. And this is a big problem. It's a really big problem that not many yoga teachers will mention, yes? In order to reach an effect of authentic pranayama, you really have to sit easy in a proper position with a straight back, minimum 25 minutes. Which today, if you take Western person and you put him after his chairs and couches and the way he lives, it's impossible. Yeah. So pranayama, the way yoga teach us, is not effective simply because Indian body sit like this as many hours as they want, or Asian bodies, whatever. Yes? Western body cannot sit, and it may take many years until we can.
Yeah, we've trained ourselves in poor posture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So what is the solution? Indian yogic method is not giving the solution because they didn't have this problem. Yes. So what's the solution? Wim Hof offered fantastic solution. Yes. He realized it probably for sure. Yes. And he gives a solution. If you feel comfortable to sit and breathe intensively as much as you can. If you cannot sit comfortable, lie down. Just breathe in relaxed position. Now, as we all know, I think in 2019 there was 3 scientists with that shared the Nobel Prize about hypocrisy. Yes.
Yeah.
And this is already not any mystics or miracles. Yes, it's already science.
Yes.
That telling us that hypocrisy causes a lot of positive physical changes in our body, which is immediately we can experience that. So we basically, guys, we live in a fantastic time. I want to tell to everybody, we live in such a time. We are lucky to be witnesses how ancient thousands years of practice intercrossing today with science and with this speed light. Yes, it's so fast happening. Cold exposure. It's been known for thousands of years in Norway, in Russia, in Finland, in Poland, in Czech Republic. In every cold countries, if you have fever, go to snow. The fever will go. Positive stress. We have now tens of studies from science that says, yes, positive stress is a must for body and mind. Neuroplasticity, what will say to us the same, positive stress to change our patterns in our brain. So basically, my experience with breathing and cold exposure is lifetime. Is like, I don't know, I'm 54 now. Let's say it's over 40 years. But I find Wim Hof is very useful for today's time and situation that we are all in.
Do you practice the Wim Hof technique yourself?
Yes, every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
What is your practice like with breath work, with Wim Hof breathing and cold? What's your how does it fit into your typical day?
Okay, in the morning I start with 3-4 rounds of breathing. Then after that I do immediately push-ups. I love it. This is also great mystical tip he gave. Push-ups with holding breath. Then I go to my shower. I have to admit, here the shower is plus 1.5 degrees, so it's fantastic now.
You are in Poland now.
Yes. Then I also mix it with a little bit with Ivanov. I put a bathtub with cold water, and after the shower, I sit.
Wow.
But I started gradually, not like Wim is teaching. I'll tell you why, because my heart is not very well. I have still some chronic little problems with my heart. So when I go to, let's say, to the lake, immediately, I have arrhythmic symptoms on my heart. So I started from my feet, then my knees, then my hips, and now I sit. So I go gradually with my body fully in the water, and hopefully next week I go to swim in the ice in the lake. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's an important part with the breathing techniques and the cold exposure is be careful about taking it too literally. We're all different.
Absolutely.
The bodies are all different. It's
Absolutely.
things like we practice quite a lot of different forms of breath work, and stuff like the Wim Hof can be too much for people initially until they really start to get to feel their breath and start to release stuff that's trapped there too.
But as well as you mentioned, Ayurveda is showing that we have different
Constitution, exactly.
Vata and Pitta, and we can't have the same tools for healing the same person. And of course, there is as well different combinations of different different structures in one body.
Yeah.
So,
and
but we connect with the breath.
Yeah, and I think it's be curious and listen to your body. And let your body be the guide, but don't let go of your curiosity. If one approach isn't working for you 100%, continue that curiosity around. I'd say there's so many different ways.
Absolutely.
Different approaches to getting yourself in the cold, but yeah, just be curious, play around, and find what resonates with you. What didn't resonate with you in the beginning, later on, a year down the line, you may be ready for it then.
Every moment is different. Every moment is different. The main thing, what I want to say, of course, pranayama gives a lot of ways to practice breath. Yeah. The exercises that Wim Hof combined is pretty simple, understandable, and very effective, and absolutely not dangerous. That's what I like about it for nobody. Yes. The cold exposure, shower, especially contrast shower, hot and cold, I don't think is dangerous for anybody. Yes. To go to total ice exposure could be dangerous, and it's a little bit scary me, the groups in Facebook that people are so proud showing how they go in ice, and everybody saying I feel great, I feel fantastic, and nobody is saying attention guys, be careful, it's not for everybody, don't try to repeat it after me. This a little bit worries me, how people are trying to show that they're heroes. And
it's not about, for me, it's more about the whole thing is reconnecting to yourself. And this is a big part of Wim's message as well. Listen to yourself. Go up, find your pace. It's not about keeping up with others. I think there's a chance that we can miss the whole point. Ultimately it's all about reconnection.
Reconnecting with your body.
I think this is the problem of our times, that we are all together experiences is competition based, being a hero for others, and it's a strong patterns in our brains, totally everybody. Yes. And yes, it makes us feel good that we can conquer ourselves and do something unusual. But then it's even more important to go to public and to show 10, to feel good. Yes, we can see it, especially in thanks God, it's changing with young women. Yeah, many women stop talking about cosmetics or plastic surgeries, and they start to think how they feel. First of all, it is changing, but it's still very beginning. We still have to consider how strong our ego talks wrong language to us.
Yeah.
Yes, how strong and important still for us to what people think. How do I look? Even we are like elephants. We are carrying some kind of problems and complexes from childhood all our life without even realizing, and we
And
try.
then if we connect with our body, if we connect to our roots, to our breath, it's an amazing way to release. And we are working with biodynamic breath and trauma release, and it helps to release, thanks to breath, thanks to the movement, in a very safe way, to release all these things that we are carrying on our backs and in our bodies. From
in this box.
Yeah, and often it's like when you say the word trauma, everyone thinks of trauma with a big T, like a big accident. Whereas there's trauma with a little t, which happens over long periods of time. It's conditioning, being directed away from our true nature to fit into society, not into who we really are at our core. And that's one of the things that we work our way through with our breath work.
So just to summing up, you would say that breath, cold exposures, like simple showers, is good for everyone. Absolutely. And going back to nature, going back to things that we know from our roots.
And diet.
And diet, yes.
Yeah, let's go touch for a second. Going back to nature, you said it's a must. It's a must because for some reason we separated ourselves completely from other species, other plants, and we build those boxes. We live in huge cities, and it's very difficult to change for people that are already in the cities. So they must to find a way to go barefooted on the grass, to find a way to go to parks, because it's sick, guys. It's sick to sit at home in a cement box. It's not normal. It's catastrophic. Yeah. And about food.
Yeah, I feel that's been a bit of what the gift of this coronavirus has been, and the most painful gift is making us reconsider what's really important to us.
Oh, thanks to virus. I say every day, thanks to virus. You cannot imagine here, I'm in the Czech forest. We already had a lot of animals coming right to my door every day.
Beautiful.
But during Corona, it's at least doubled. Yeah. The amount of different animals that we see. The wolves came back. We didn't see wolves here many years. No, now we see wolves. They came back because it's not that in this area less people, maybe a little bit less tourists, but we move less.
Yeah.
We make less noise. Yeah. We became more calm, and this is
connected to nature. Finally, connect to nature.
Yes.
Yeah, let's connect to nature through our breath.
Yes.
And
food also. Food, guys. I know organic is more expensive.
Food, breath, and water.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know 2 words about organic. I know it's a little bit more expensive than we like to be, but if we learn to eat less but quality,
yes,
it is not expensive.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
Because very short message that I would repeat after David Attenborough and after many great people. Guys, if we will all not change to organic agriculture within 40 years, this planet will not have fertile soils at all.
Yeah.
So all together, if we put this, to summarize these beautiful discussions, it's all free.
Yeah.
Air.
Yes.
Barefoot it on grass, cold shower, and maybe a little bit reconsider what we eat and how we eat.
Yeah.
and it's happiness all the way. It's
Yeah.
beautiful, and health, of course. And we all want to be happy and healthy.
We do.
We do.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
you.
It was amazing and so inspirational. Thank you so much, Masha.
Thank you, guys. I hope to stay in touch, and I really want to try your methods too. So I will email you about that. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.